Hey ladies, this is Mocha Mommy here bringing you another video. And in the 80s, there was a cartoon that I used to watch. It was called G.I. Joe. And I definitely think it influenced me to be a soldier. But there was a little adage that they used to say at the end of every cartoon episode. And it was where one of the cartoon characters in the show would have an interaction with like a quote unquote real life kid. And it would teach fundamentals about teamwork or sharing or stranger danger or whatever kind of lesson that they wanted to teach, saying no to drugs. And the adage was, knowing is half the battle. So in celebration of my 500 plus subscribers, I want to let you guys know that you already have so many of the tools that you need to create the life you want. Because knowing is half the battle. And you have great access to information. You are intelligent. You are smart. You are bold and you are amazingly beautiful. And now that you know what you need to do to maximize your life and to maximize your goals, you are already halfway there. Now, the challenge is to put it into practice. Now, I appreciate all of the feedback I get from my viewers and subscribers because it makes the channel better. It helps us to move forward. But here's the question that I have for you. Are you deploying the information that is given? Not just by me, but by other content creators, the good ones and the bad ones. The reason why I ask is because I had a college student had asked me about my thoughts on matchmaking services. I had also had someone talk about how one of the vetting strategies that I had talked about and discussed in some of my videos didn't work for her because she found out the person was married. And ladies, that's what vetting is, right? Finding out if the person is going to be a good match, and sometimes they're not. I had also just gotten a series of questions that seemed to be things that, in my opinion, had been answered by myself or other different content creators. So I'm just going to kind of enforce and repeat some of the information, along with provide some of the receipts so that you guys can actually follow up with the information that I'm giving you so you can make the best informed decision. Here's the thing. I think you guys have enough information, but I do not think that you're deploying the techniques and tricks and confidence building skill set that I think that you guys are getting from these channels. Now, the stock price for Match Incorporated has more than doubled since the onset of the pandemic because of the amount of new paid users who are now using the service. Bumble has over 70% of its population being male, even though it's a woman-powered app. Tinder users are close to 80% male. 78% of the users on Tinder are male, while matchmaking services have a 2 female to 1 male ratio at best. So, not that I'm against matchmaking services, it's just you're paying thousands of dollars for a ratio that may not necessarily favor you. So, although I have nothing against them, right now, there's not a lot of evidence in their favor. My question is, why are you not playing your advantage in a more affordable space? Because even if you have a really great matchmaking service, if you don't have the important conversation initiation skills, benign but pertinent vetting questions, or just really good vetting questions overall, really good boundary setting skills, you're not going to make the most of that app anyway. You're not going to make the most of that matchmaking service anyway. Okay? So here's the problem. It's not about the service you use or the city that you're in. It really is about the skill set you have. And the only way to improve that skill set is to go out and do it. Not by writing a content creator in the comment section, not by sitting on the sidelines of your own life. It is going to be going out and actually doing it. Are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. But the thing about it, are you going to learn from them? Here's ways that you can go about learning those skills and getting some of those important conversation pieces and benign but pertinent vetting questions started, okay? Now, one young woman had asked about certain ethnic groups of men that she was interested in possibly exploring, engaging with. So I had referred her back to a video that I had made about a very diverse, all-encompassing sport that really included lots of cultures that she could eventually maneuver around, and that she could actually be able to initiate conversations and participate with on a social level. My hope is that you all would take opportunities to learn new things and engage socially, not just with my content, but with what it is, the information that I'm providing to you, because you're going to see that the whole world is going to start to open up once you guys start to put yourselves out there. Okay, shade, no shade. In regard to the ex-con content creators who were able to dupe lots of money, attention, super chat, and frankly still are duping a lot of their viewing audience on how to navigate high value spaces, I'm also starting to see that many of the people who participate on those platforms, chances are they're not deploying the information that they're being taught either. You see, if their viewing audience were to deploy the information that was being given, they would have saw that, hey, the real world doesn't work like this. Nobody's operating like this who are inhabiting these very successful upper echelons of society. Nobody really thinks like this, operates this way, or talks like this. This is how these content creators have been debunked over and over again, but yet we're still able to grow viewing audiences, and still are, frankly, able to grow a viewing audience. Because it just goes to show that people are spectators in their own lives and not really participating. So that's where I want to encourage you to not just be a spectator of your own life, but to be an active participant. Now, even though I can never make these decisions for you, I can give you some resources that can help you make great decisions. One of the books I suggest you read is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. This book is written by a magazine editor and businessman, real estate mogul, and millionaire several times over, who talks about just how making small, sustainable changes over a period of time can help you maximize your life. I particularly recommend chapter 6 because that's the workbook section of the book, and ask those questions to yourself introspectively and work on those issues. But also, I can see you using a lot of those questions in chapter 6 as really good vetting questions, conversation starters, and icebreakers as you're starting to meet people and to build your new inner circle. One of the things that was so profound to me in the book was when he made an analogy about how the company we keep is very much like, and the media we consume is very much like dirty water, right? If we continue to fill our minds, our mental space, and our company with just dirty water, it's going to skew our view of life. But we need to make sure that we're filling back in with clean water. So yeah, you may have gotten the dirty water out of your life by quote unquote divesting, but what clean water are you putting in? What good relationships and healthy relationships are you building, and healthy habits are you building to make sure that you build a better life and build a better perspective? Another suggestion I keep recommending is the Jordin Harbinger podcast. The thing that I like the most are his Feedback Fridays, where people write in their own personal problems and he gives them advice on how to handle them, from anything from professional issues to issues with family, finance, issues with spouses. But what's so solution oriented about his Feedback Fridays is that he can give you a script on ways that you can set those verbal boundaries, ways you can talk to and communicate with people that make sure it invites dialogue and not incites arguments. Now, some people may see it as attack for an argument, but because you're clearly establishing those boundaries and letting people know where you will and will not go, it's just such a really great way to come up with scripts for ways to discuss really difficult topics. Another book that I recommend, especially for those of you who are faith-based, is the Boundaries books by Towson and Cloud. No matter what those boundaries are, who those boundaries are for, there's a book for every single person. Boundaries for dating is a really great way so you can protect yourself out in the dating market, not just physically by picking the right locations and getting a Google Voice number, but also emotionally, so that you can make sure that you take a step back and you're always evaluating what it is you're doing as you go out there making new friends and making new connections. On this channel, we're not about perfection. We're just about being a participant in your own life. And there is no specific city, dating site, matchmaking service that can really help you if you're not confident in who it is you are and how you navigate the world. What I'm trying to tell you to do is that that's going to take practice. This is nothing no one can tell you, but everything you're going to have to experience. There's going to be some awkwardness. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some complicated moments. And there's going to definitely be some blood, sweat, and tears. But it's going to be worth it in order to build the life you want. This is Mocha Mommy, and I'll see you in the next video.